Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter? 769-452 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. And live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert, consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. It's a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, first-timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Eric Boyenger is with us. Keller Williams Shoreline, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you with us. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio, National Park Service Founders Day. Does that mean that they found the park? I just digress right there. This one here, for those of you, some of you may like this one, some may not. If your children are listening, be careful. National Kiss and Make Up Day. I think we can go with that one. That might work. Yeah. Secondhand Wardrobe Day. I don't know about Secondhand Wardrobe Day. Let's see what else. This one might work. National Whiskey Sour Day. Those of you that watch Ron Siegel Radio on a regular basis know that I'm a martini guy. Vodka martini, no vermouth, 3 blue cheese olives, please. And haven't beaten anorexia. Yeah, National Banana Split Day. So I'll be, where are we going to go for a banana split today? Let's take a look and let's see what the markets are doing right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Holy cow, I'm surprised. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 180 points. I didn't think the Dow ever went down. The S&P 500, that's down 2.06. Well, at least I'm safe because the NASDAQ is up 18.56. As we know, the NASDAQ really never goes down. Gold up 72 cents a barrel. Snowflakes. If you're listening to us this morning, yes, the gold is up. That means Calizuela is probably paying way too much for gasoline. Do we want to look at that? Because we can compare it. Now, we're going to probably get hit with a surge in our gas prices here in Calizuela because there's a hurricane coming to the southeast. How that affects Calizuela, I don't know, but we are at 322.7 is the average cost of a gallon of gasoline here in Calizuela. 219.1 is the national average. Has Mississippi gone up? Yeah, Mississippi's all the way up to $1.85.1. Compare that to Calizuela at 322. And the oil-producing state of Hawaii at 323. Unbelievable. But hey, you know something? We can continue to vote for the same people that close our restaurants, close our churches, charge us high gas prices, cut out our power because, yeah, we've got to have enough green energy to serve. I don't know who it's supposed to serve, but we'll continue on moving right along here. Hey, let's see what the markets are doing. The U.S. 10-year Treasury all the way up to 69 basis points, 0.693 as we broadcast this morning. Yes, I know those of you that are listening to us on our afternoon replay on KMET AM 1490, the ABC News and Talk station. You already know what's going on and what happened today because you're smarter than I am right now as I record in the morning. Japan, they're all the way up to 0.034 on their interest rate. And Germany, Yeah, you're still negative. So, well, talk about negative. There's a lot of negativity going on in the marketplace right now. The Democrats are not very happy after watching just one night of the Republican convention. Did you hear what Tim Scott had to say? Did you hear what Herschel Walker had to say? Fascinating me how, when you listen to the two conventions, last week the world was coming to an end. And last week we knew what was going to go on, right? And this week, it's completely different. Only in the first day, Tim Scott telling us about his grandfather, who was a cotton picker. Tim Scott decided he was going to become a football player, except his grades didn't keep him in school. But now he's made it to be a United States Senator, first African-American to be both a congressman and a United States Senator from South Carolina. Think about that concept. Yeah, you can do anything you want. And it was a very uplifting speech that he gave. Herschel Walker talking about his friend of 37 years, Donald Trump. Drives the liberals nuts. And I know I'm here in SoCal, so I'm probably going to drive you nuts today. But it drives the liberals nuts when they hear of African-American people talking about their friendship with the president. Fascinating. And then you can listen to Nancy Pelosi telling us, well, he's trying to steal the election because the Postal Service that she's been so worried about for the last 600 years while she's been in Congress is losing dollars and money and everything else. And she doesn't want him to get rid of the machines that are obsolete. Now, you would think that a person from San Francisco, Miss Pelosi.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Would be the first person in line, Miss Pelosi, to get the more necessary, the latest and greatest equipment. She still thinks that they need those sorting machines to deliver email, right? I mean, that's just the way it is with her. They can't deliver the medicine that goes through the post office. That doesn't work because those sorting machines are for flat mail. But maybe when she gets rid of the ice cream instead of sitting with her head in the freezer, she'll understand that. Moving right along. Hey, what's going on in Wisconsin? Have you seen that one? Another Democrat state, another Democrat city. Yeah, they needed to bring in the National Guard because of protests. And I'm not going to get into the shooting. Yes, I know there was a black man that was shot on Sunday afternoon. I would hope that most people will wait and see what the evidence says instead of making any decisions ahead of time. I did notice one part of the video, and one part of the video just fascinates me all the time. And I saw the suspect fighting with the police officers. Now, I don't get involved with police officers very often just because I understand the situation. I have never seen a police officer that gets upset with anybody when they say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You can argue over the issues later, but at the time, there are many, many more law enforcement officers there than there are suspects there. Law enforcement's going to win. And it doesn't matter. You can be 100% right. They might call that dead right. Right? There are, and I'm a big proponent. I know that I'm a big proponent of the police officers. I probably would not be the best one to serve on a jury because I walk in with a bias. I will tell you that right up front. But the issue is that the police officers, they want to get rid of the officers that are the bad apples more than anyone else does. Think about that concept. Unbelievable. Let's move on. What's going else is on in the rundown this morning? Did you see Jim Jordan last night talking about his vision of America, getting rid of some of the expenses? Yes, he is the congressman. And I like the idea of Jim Jordan, other than the fact that he wears a tie. That drives me nuts. But he doesn't wear a jacket, so that's a good deal. Right, I'm a casual guy. I like the idea of being casual, not that formal issues. But Jim Jordan out there coming out and talking about his vision of America and the idea that he likes the things that the president's doing. He likes the lower rate of unemployment. How do you blame the China virus on the president of the United States unless you're a Democrat? Although Joe Biden, he may be able to solve that problem from his bunker. Yeah, I wonder can somebody help me with this one? And I know that you can make comments right there on any of our social channels. But do you really believe that Joe Biden is going to be able to negotiate with Russia or with China or maybe a peace deal? Do you think they're going to all show up in his basement? Do you think he'll ever come out of the basement? I just wonder about that. As you notice, sometimes I get carried away a little bit. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to learn about renovation programs. We're going to talk about that. Builders and realtors agree. Real estate is back. We've got the new FHFA index, the Case-Shiller index, all came out this morning. We'll talk about that. And a featured home, it's only $3.5 million, but you may enjoy it. Great interest rate, though, great pricing. If you like that type of property, we're going to tell you all about that one as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay will be available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it when they pay to you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you would do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star, they've got the programs and the products. You've got the phone. you can make the call 800-306-1990. Mortgage Minute. Dow Jones down now 179 points. NASDAQ is up 13 points. Let's take a look and see the S&P 500. If my computer screen will wake up, it's going to be up. It's going to be down now. S&P 500 down 163. And as you know very well, all of that information is available to you on that super secret website, google.com. Right, so you can find all of that stuff. The reason you come and listen to Ron Siegel Radio, it's certainly not for my looks. It's because we're going to give you the information as to why these things are happening, the why behind them. Well, we're getting stronger and stronger real estate data every single day. That's one of the big issues. I gave you this number last week, and it's still holding true. Think about this. During the Great Recession, the Federal Reserve was buying about $40 billion of mortgage-backed securities each month. $40 billion. Now, let's do a little bit of math here, and I'm a simple guy. The Federal Reserve now is buying between $5 and $6 billion of mortgage-backed securities every day. Assume a 20-day month, working month, just because, again, I'm a simple guy. Assume $5 billion a day, spending $100 billion a month to try and stabilize the bond market. That's part of the reason of what's going on right now. Case-Shiller Home Price Index, though, they are considered the gold standard for appreciation, showed that nationally there was a 4.3% annual gain in June, which was unchanged from the gain we saw in May. 20-city index rose 3.5% year over year, down from 3.6%. Regionally, Phoenix, Seattle, Tampa continued to be the strongest in the nation. Phoenix posted a 9% year over year price increase in the middle of the summer. Can you imagine that? I wonder why people are going to Phoenix. Maybe they're leaving some of these other goofy cities. FHFA is the one I like. The FHFA came out with their home price index, measures home price appreciation, single-family homes with conforming loan limits. You don't get any of the real outrageously higher priced properties. Looking at nationally, 0.9% month over month. Think about that. That's about 11% annual. 5.7% for over the last 12 months. Big numbers right there. Property is appreciation. Easy for me to say. Appreciating. New home sales measures signed contracts on new homes up 14% in July. That's the new home sales. 60% of homes sold were above $300,000. Yeah, I know we're in Southern California. We call $300,000 a down payment, right? But I'm still giving you a lot of national numbers here. So the real estate market, and I'm going to share some charts with you. Watch the socials later in the day, and you'll see some charts on contracts, people that are signing contracts. Real estate is booming, even in the face of a pandemic. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, the products. Give us a call, 800-306-1990. This morning, we're going to chat a little bit about a topic that I know very little about. Of course, that goes a long way because there's a lot of topics I know very little about. And I find it fascinating to learn on the broadcast. So we've got Eric Boyenger is with us here this morning talking about a seller's renovation program. Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. What is a seller's renovation program?
Well, it's a program that's actually out there that so Shoreline, Killer One Shoreline, which is in Seal Beach, we came up with a program that's backed by Revive. But long story short, what it does is it's a program that allows, let me step back. So, we always get, when we go in as agents and we do a listing presentation or even a buyer walks in, and the house needs to be updated.
Right.
We all know that, especially nowadays with millennials and stuff like that, we want a move-in ready home. And so we're starting to see that a lot where people are coming in, they're making a lowball offer, and in this market, you can't really do that,
right?
But they want a move-in ready home. And so what we're doing is this program allows the seller, or we as the agent, to present this to the seller that says, we're going to help you do the renovations, right? At no cost out of their pocket. So, because we know a lot of sellers are either tight on money, or they need the money out of their home, or they're selling downside. And so what we're doing is we're allowing the renovations to happen, and then it's paid out of closing. Now, here's the great thing about the program is there's no minimums and no maximums. So if it could be a $5,000 renovation, it could be a $150,000 renovation.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't really matter. So right now there's programs in, of course, Hollywood Hills. that, is around about a 175 renovation right now. And then we have one that's going for about $5,500. So it's not the matter of, of how much, it's about what needs to be done that's going to increase the value. And I think we know that when a house has been renovated enough to where it's clean, it's move-in ready, that it's going to get more offers,
Sure.
more money, and sell faster. And so that's the big benefit. Now,
Just three things: more offers, more money, and sell faster. What else could you want?
In this market, it's important for us as an agent and as a seller. So one of the great things that's about it is the contractor gets paid right away. See, a lot of the older programs or some of the concierge programs that are out there that are very limited have either a limitation in amounts and or the contractor is the one that's kind of putting all the risk on their shoulders waiting for them to actually get paid. So obviously in this market where it does sell faster, it's not as important, but let's say 6 months down the road if it changes. This program actually, the contractors get paid, when the job is done.
So this Revive puts a lien on the property for the repair or for the renovations. Is that how it works?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So Revive is actually who powers our program. So it's a kind of a white label program that we created. Like I said, a lot of our competitors actually don't have the program itself, which is awesome. We here at Shoreline, we definitely decided that was a huge value for our agents and also for our clients, and it's been an awesome program.
So where's Shoreline located?
It's right there up 405 and Seal Beach Boulevard, literally at 2 intersect.
Okay, so you're dealing with a lot of older properties that need some extra work done or extra love on them.
Correct, exactly. So I mean, it's not even older. It is older because obviously if it's a brand new home, most likely it's already been redone or it's brand new. So, but a lot of them have outdated kitchens, or you walk in and it just needs even paint carpeted, right? I mean, like I said, there's no minimums. It even covers staging if we want to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's another great program. So we can add staging, do paint, do carpet, remodel the kitchen, and now it's move-in ready. And that's, again, a great program for the seller because, like I said, if we can get more money, if we invest 10, 15, 20 grand, depending on the upgrade, this will get you up to go 40, 50, 60 more grand in the sell, right? Because most people are going to walk in that home and go, they're going to think they have to rehab it. Even how buyers are, everything is $10,000. Oh, I got to paint $10,000, right? Or I got to replace the carpet 10 grand. And we know paint might only cost $2,500. Maybe carpet, depending on how much, is going to be another $2,500. So their cost factor is way changed by 10 times versus what's going on.
And is it a difficult program for somebody to qualify for?
It's actually equity based, so there's no credit pull, there's no anything like that. It's completely equity based.
Wow.
So as long as you have 20% equity, 20 to 25% equity, you have to qualify.
It's baffling. I mean, it just sounds to me, especially, how often do you see that you can get a 2-to-1 return on the investment? Is that normal?
It can be. Like I said, every house and every circumstance is definitely, sometimes you get more, sometimes it's a little less. But that's where, having an experienced agent is very important because we're going to obviously go in and do our recommendations as an experienced agent about what needs to be upgraded and the value of that.
And that's a big thing because so many people think that their house needs everything to be done. And you tend to be doing, in my opinion, the wrong things, right? Because you're going to say that I need to go and paint and carpet the third bedroom at the far end of the house. And the agent's going to come in and say, let's not worry about that one. Let's deal with the kitchen because that's what's going to bring us back a return on investment. And a lot of us, we don't buy houses every day, every year, every week, every month. You guys are dealing with multiple houses, properties every day. And most of us deal with one every 9 years.
Correct. And that's what we come across a lot of times with sellers and or buyers is one, they don't know the cost, generally speaking. With me having a construction background, it's really easy for me to actually go in and be able to say what a remodel is going to cost and be pretty close to accurate because I do a lot of property flips and development. But at the end of the day, for an experienced agent, that's an important piece because we walk in and we're going to give you what's going to give us the most highest value. And a lot of sellers, it's funny is they say, well, I need to do all these things before I list. I mean, we go in and go, why would you spend a bunch of money on something you're not going to get a return of investment on, right? That doesn't make any sense. So let us help you put the thing, if you're going to invest money into your home to get it sold for more, which is where the renovation program works really well. So let's just say that we do have a seller that has the cash, and that's great. But it's important that we put that money in the proper places to make sure that we maximize the return on investment.
And that's the key for everybody, because you guys are going to get a better reputation, which is how you build your business, by getting that maximized value, getting the maximized client experience, getting it done quick. And I don't know, maybe you've been in this a long time. I'm just a lender radio host guy, right? And I don't know anybody that wants to have their home set up as a museum for 3 or 4 or 5 months.
No. It's all about, like I said, prepping the home, getting it out of the market, marketing it correctly, and getting it sold for the maximum dollar. I mean, that's where an experienced agent, and obviously, what's important with that is obviously having an experienced, lender that backs an experienced agent. I always talk about lenders and agents to the extent of, it's kind of like, where they say, behind every, good man is a good woman. It's kind of like behind every good, real estate agent is a good lender. So it's super important that you have a great lender to actually, have your back.
It's a partnership. You got to have a team working on all of this. We're going to continue our conversation with Eric Boyenger when we come back. I want to find out who does the work, and can I do the work? Well, you know me, I can't do the work myself, but maybe if you're handy, can you do the work yourself? And does the buyer have any input? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of homes you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash for the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest, SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Digest is great. It gives you what the county recorder knows about your property. It gives you what the market believes about your property. And if you know me, the best part about it to you is it's free. And you're going to get it every month. It's a nice tool there for you. Builders and realtors agree. Real estate is back. When shelter-in-place orders brought the economy to a screeching halt earlier this year, many believed the residential housing market would follow suit. Countless analysts predicted buyer demand would disappear and home values would depreciate for the first time in almost a decade. That, however, did not happen. It appears the opposite is taking place. After the bottom fell out, the real estate market immediately followed the shutdown. It has come roaring back and seems to still be gaining steam. Here's a look at two recent reports, one from the National Association of Home Builders, NAHB, and one from the National Association of Realtors showing this growing strength. Builder confidence hits all-time high. Last week was reported that applications for new home purchases with home builders were 39% higher than in July of 2019. That has builder confidence soaring each month. NAHB releases its Housing Market Index, a survey of NAHB members who rate market conditions for the sale of new homes at the present time and over the next 6 months, as well as prospective buyer traffic for new homes. This month, they reported that builder confidence in the market for newly built single-family homes increased to the highest reading in 35-year history of the series. The number of newly constructed homes being built will be almost the same level as last year, even though the economic shutdown crushed home building earlier this year. A lot of great information in the report. I'm going to share it with you on all of our socials. The bottom line, the newly constructed and existing home sale market are posting numbers greater than a year ago. Real estate is back. I don't know if it ever left. If you're thinking of buying or selling, let's chat. We'll put you in touch with a great real estate professional anywhere within the sound of my voice. I know where they are because I chat with them on a regular basis, and we are chatting with one today. Eric Boyenger is in the house. We're chatting about a program that seems to me, and I might be all wet on this because I don't know everything going on in real estate. I've told you this many, many times, and I think this is the case for most people. I can't do what you do in a spare time, part-time. Just doesn't work. You've got to have great real estate professionals out there working for you, working with you. And I'm going to tell you this because nobody else will. Great real estate professionals cost you absolutely nothing. And I'm going to tell you the other part of it when I see those stupid commercials on TV where they're going to do it for 1%. Really? So do you want to go to a cut rate surgeon? I think I'm going to go to I need 2 knee replacements, right? And I think I'm going to try and find the cheapest surgeon I can find because I don't really care. I just want to have something cheap. Well, it's the same thing when you're dealing with your castle, right? You don't want to deal with that. I should get off my soapbox. Eric Boyenger, we're talking with Eric Keller Williams Shoreline, and we've been talking about seller renovation programs. And we've talked many times about buyer renovation. We've never really talked about seller renovation. But I hear all the time, especially as leading a lending team, hey, can I build the cost of doing ABC into the loan? And Eric, that almost sounds like we're able to do something like that here.
That's pretty much in essence because the seller, of course, participates in the program itself. But on top of that, one of the cool things is even if you have a buyer that walks into one of the properties, right, and says, you know what, I would make an offer on this house, but I need to remodel it, and maybe they need to come with more money down because of the circumstance, and that would wipe their cash out to remodel. So they that might be not an opportunity. The great thing about the program is it can be for a buyer with the seller participation. So it is still seller driven, but it's not something that I still tell my agents that they said, hey, still offer it, so if you are representing a buyer and you go into a home that needs to be remodeled or rehab, right, because it's outdated, and they like the floor plan, they may not have the money or the program or they don't qualify for the 203K or they're renovation ready. I don't think is that still available?
So people are stretching to buy the property in the first place.
Right.
right? So, and they don't have that money. Now, what do you mean by seller participation? What does the seller have to do?
Well, so the process is pretty simplified. So let's say as an agent, I go into a listing presentation, and the seller, says, yeah, I want to commit, and I say, hey, if you do some of these upgrades, we can probably, maybe we can spend maybe 10 or 20 grand, maybe get another 40, get 40 out of it, right? Let's just say that, for example.
I'm a simple guy. I can do that. Stand that. Spend 10, get 40.
Yeah, or spend even 10, get 20, right? It's at the end of the day, it's like if you can get more than what you're spending into it, then and there's other values to it of selling it faster and getting more multiple offers, even in this market, then it's a win-win situation.
Sure.
The great thing is though, is we may get a buyer that says, hey, I'm willing to spend even a little bit more money, but again, it's going to suck my money away from it. If the seller participates and says, you know what, I will grant you with a higher down payment that's non-refundable, right? I will go ahead and go through this rehab as long as it's not like, abstract or something that, like if it's just, white paint, new carpet, things that, it's not yellow carpet and it's not something funky, that, there's a lot of sellers that will participate in that because they're going to get more money for the property. Because think about it. At the end of the day, if they won't participate in or not interested in it, but you bring in a buyer that says, if you do this, I'll pay you more money for your home. Most sellers are going to say, if you're going to pay me more money for my home to go through this, right? Because the rehab might cost 10, and then maybe again the seller's going to get another 20 grand just to participate in it. That's a win-win situation.
Sure. So when what you're saying here is I've got to put an extra 10, whatever the cost is, so to speak,
right?
And I'm going to increase my earnest money, and that's going to be non-refundable. So that's what's protecting the seller from putting in the granite that my wife likes as opposed to the granite that his or her wife likes.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. So now I see where you're saying that it is a win. Do I have to use a specific contractor involved in this?
So that's another great thing about it is so we actually have a lot of approved contractors that, of course, the sellers can use. However, if the agent or the seller has their own contractors, they just got to go through the approval process, which is really painless to go through that, to be utilized because of the distribution of funds. So they just go through, get their contractors approved, and they can use their own contractors.
How about doing it for, there was a lot of people that got in trouble, so to speak, with the energy efficient programs. Can I have new windows put in or things like that? Is that doable under this kind of a program?
So, yeah, to answer the question, yes. However, we got to make sure that the value is there because it doesn't make sense to put new windows in if you're not going to get the value out of it, right? And are new windows really going to sell the home? Maybe. It just depends on the circumstance. What we really want to focus on is really what most people are focusing on, like kitchens, right? And anything that's going to pull your eyes away from the home itself. So if it's dirty carpet, if the walls haven't been maintained, right? If there's it could be an old chandelier hanging from the thing that's going to be where their eyes go to. We want to replace those items more so than potentially going through a complete window rehab because that can get very costly and a lot of times you won't get that money out of it.
So we're looking at what's going to get us the best return on investments.
Correct.
This sounds like it'd be a great program for those of us that are dealing in the estate world. Right, you have a property that grandma's taken care of for 100 years, but it still has the shag avocado green carpet and the pink countertops.
That is coming in though.
Everything goes around, comes around, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yes, to answer your question.
So if you've got an estate property that you're dealing with before you go and some people like to do that on a fire sale just because they want to get rid of it, and move on from the estate.
Right.
But the idea is if you're looking to maximize the sale price of the property. And I am not a CPA. I do not do tax law. But I heard when I was settling an estate recently that, if you sell the property within 6 months of the individual passing, that price is used as the step up value. So you can have a $500,000, ask your CPA. You could possibly have a $500,000 property, do $50,000 worth of renovation work, sell it for $550,000, $575,000, and $575,000 is the value for estate planning purposes. Check with your CPA and see if that's accurate. But from my understanding of the law, that is, but that's not what this is intended for.
No, but it can be.
But it could. But there's a lot of places when you start understanding that a program. It's more important. What we want to really get out is not all the specifics of this program. What I really want you to understand and learn from Eric, as I'm learning right now, is the program is there. The program is available, and the question becomes, is the person that you're working with offering it to you? Is the person you're working with sharing it with you? If not, you need to give a call to Eric Boyenger at Keller Williams Shoreline. Talk to him or one of his agents. They'll be able to educate you on the process. Now, are you limited to only working the shoreline?
You mean for the program itself?
No, well, for your agents, your office, and the program.
No, by all means. It's like actually we've had listings and stuff in San Francisco. We've anything in California we can handle. The great thing is this program. We actually had a client that, because we can do the program in Texas also. So if we have a client that moved to Texas, or even have a client in Texas, we can still use the program in Texas also.
Great information. We're going to continue our conversation learning about Sellers Renovation Program. We're going to talk more with Eric Boyenger when we come back. We're also going to chat about our featured home of the day. You can reach me anytime off their number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel, and if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you aware that a free and clear home could cost you $2,500?
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now,
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home today being brought to you by our friends at mysocallender.com, mysocallender.com. If you have not looked at mysocallender.com, you are missing it. I'm just going to tell you flat out. that they've got all kinds of information that you're going to want to know about when you're thinking about buying or selling a piece of property. And the beauty of it is, number one, obviously, of course, coming from Ron Siegel Radio, it's free. It's real time. It gives you all the data that you need. And you're going to have no advertising on there. It's pretty simple. That's why I like it so much. So today's featured home, Patty Gregory sent this over. And take a look. If you can see the picture, and I might have to show you a bigger picture in just a second. 785 Bluebird Canyon Drive, Laguna Beach. 4 bedrooms, 3 full and 1 half bathroom. This is my part. An ocean view, private street, completely renovated top to bottom. Walk to downtown, not if you have bad knees like me. Laguna's world-renowned beaches. Watch the sunset. I like that. Give me a martini. Enjoy the cool ocean breezes from your full-length ocean view decks. Inspired, completely renovated home is truly remarkable inside and out with meticulous attention to detail. Take a look at some of the pictures that are on here that we've got on the screen for you of this property. It looks like a beautiful property. $3.45 million. Put 10% down. You're looking at about $18,000 a month as your mortgage payment. 20% down, $15,591. 15-year loan, $21,700 a month. Yes, I'm going to give you the APRs so that the compliance people are happy. 3.175, 2.975, and 2.85. If you want more information on the property, give me a call, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Patty Gregory. And yes, my NMLS number, 217037. Let's get back to talking about this renovation property with Eric Boyenger. And I'm going to put Eric's contact information right there along the bottom of the screen, or if I can figure out how to do it. You know, when you sit here talking to people all day long and then you've got to figure out how to get the information. And I know I had it set up early, so even somebody as simple as me could figure it out. There it is, I think. So Keller Williams Shoreline. You get to see the ocean. You can probably go to lunch at the ocean from your office.
I can definitely go to lunch, but I don't see the ocean. So
okay. So we're chatting a bit about the renovation program, the seller, and this is different than most because many people will hear us say renovation program, and you think, and Eric and I talked about this before, the 203K. We were talking about and they've got the full program, the rehab program. You and I've talked about that for a long time. Can't use that on a $2 million property.
Correct.
Doesn't work too well. This Revive program that you're talking about, though, it sounds like you can use it on any property value.
Yeah, and it's we actually named it as a white glove. It's a shoreline renovate program is what it is.
Shoreline renovate
program.
Got it. Okay.
Shoreline renovate, just to make it simple and sweet. Yeah, so you can ultimately, there is no restrictions in regards to, property size. It could be a $4 million property, it could be a $400,000 property. Obviously, a $400,000 property in California, like you said, that's a condo.
Right.
It's a 600 square foot house. So,
and the beauty of it is, though, the other side of it was but you said it's a seller that's dealing with this, so it makes it a little bit easier. One of the downsides of the 203K programs is they're generally going to take a little bit longer in escrow, right? So you've got a longer process. This you could get done in a normal escrow period and not have to worry about the sellers getting upset that it's taking a long time.
Right, and usually, like I said, the idea behind it is to find out the upgrades that aren't going to take a long time, that are going to enhance the property and provide a higher value and a much faster process. So obviously a kitchen remodel could take 30 to 40 days depending on how big the kitchen is. But at the end of the day, the idea is to literally figure it out, get in and get out. That's really the idea.
So we've talked about a certified pre-owned program for housing, and have one of our great home inspectors, Hammond Inspections, comes out and does an inspection. Could you use this if you got the inspection pre-done to do the work that might be required from a home inspector?
Sure. Like I said, it's all equity based. So at the end of the day, we don't really necessarily care what we use the money for. The idea, though, as an agent, of course, is we want to use the money to increase the value. But if there are something that's something major that needs to be fixed, absolutely.
So there's another concept for you right there. And you don't have the same issues that we had with some of the like a hero program where you're limited. There's only certain things. From what you were saying before, we can pretty much do anything we want.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you got to make sense because at the end of the day, you still have to make sure that the property is going to appraise at the sale price. So if you're going to do $50,000 or $10,000 worth of upgrades or $20,000 worth of upgrades, now you're going to be wanting to sell the property for $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 more.
Right.
We still need to. There's no guarantee that the appraisal is going to come in for that.
Correct. So the idea is, and that's one of the reasons why working with, an experienced professional such as myself or one of our agents at Shoreline is to make sure that we have everything dialed in, all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted. So that way that it protects the seller, and we can get the value that we need to get out of. So like I said, and if you really want to reach out to me, I know that you definitely are posting my contact, but just for verbal, essence, my phone number is 949-331-0448. Give me a call anytime. I'd be more than happy to kind of walk you through the process.
Yeah, and if you're driving, don't stop and write. Don't write it down on your windshield or something. Just give me a call, and we'll get you the information. And obviously, I've got Eric's website going across the screen right now, so you can make sure and get in touch with him. Have you ever come across any problems with the program? We always talk about hiccups and pitfalls, and that's what you really want a great agent for.
The idea behind it is to try not to have it. And, I would be lying if I said you're never going to have a hiccup with it. There's very few and far between hiccups with the program because obviously it's equity based. So it's not like, so let me reframe that. There's probably very limited hiccups when it comes to the seller, the agent, the buyer, and the contractor. Where I could see maybe the hiccup would be the, again, Revive, which is who powers our program, where they have to, again, chase after the money. So there's 4 ways that, of course, they get paid. And one is close of escrow. But let's just say, or if the seller decides they want to back out, right? They just want to cancel, they don't want to sell. Well, then Revive has to then chase after them and, file the lien at that point in time and try to get their money back, which, we always know that can be a process. So that's a risk on Revive. That's the great thing about it is there's low hiccups for us. Right. There's bigger hiccups on the back end that really is irrelevant to, let's say, the agent. Now, it could be the seller. It could be a hiccup for the seller because if they back out, they still owe the money.
Sure.
So, but the idea behind it is we're not doing this so you can stay in the home. We're doing this so we can get more money based on the sale of the property.
Well, and I've known of some folks who, once they had that consultation with an agent, and the agent said, well, if you do this, this, and this, you're going to get more money for your property. You know something? I like what we did, and now I want to stay here, right? And so then you have to make sure that if that is that is part of the seller's contemplation. Hey, you got to pay the bill,
right? 100%.
And that's not any big deal. It's because it's just normal, right?
Correct. If you want to call it a hiccup, I mean that's probably the one major ones that could happen is the seller likes what was done and decides they don't want to sell or something happens, right? And they have to back out of the transaction. The other thing that's great about the program for our agents is once they're in the program, if they try to back out for any apparent reason of the contract and want to relist with another agent, then the money is due. They can't just transfer it to another agent. So that's another thing that protects our agents too. It says, hey, we're putting in the work, we're providing the program. At the end of the day, we want to do what we do best, and that's sell your home.
And that's the idea. That's why you want to hire somebody that's great agents. And that's all we talk to here on Ron Siegel Radio is agents that we believe are going to bring you extra value. And that this is a unique program. I talk to agents all day, every day, and you don't hear too many people doing something like this. This is a great reason to be calling Eric and his team over at Keller Williams Shoreline is for something just like this, right? And that's why we want to bring you this information as well. So I love this program, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it. Doesn't matter whether it's a single family or a condo or whatever.
No, it's pretty open. It's like I said, it's not credit driven. It's equity driven. So as long as you have the equity in the property, then we go through the process. We give our recommendations. We get the approval for the amount that we can spend, and away we go.
What if I want to do the work myself?
That's a good question. So that just has been brought up, and I don't have a clear answer on that.
Okay.
So I'd have to get back to you on that one.
Those of you that know me, watch Ron Siegel Radio, you know that I don't even know what end of a screwdriver to use. So I wouldn't be wanting to do that myself. But most of these companies, my guess, just as an educated guess from a consumer advocate, is they're going to want a licensed contractor doing the work, right? They don't ever want to have it If you're a licensed contractor, then there might be some benefits there. But my guess is, and again, I don't know the program, Eric's the expert on it, is my guess is it's going to be, they're going to say, got to have a licensed contractor. And I think that's the rule law on anything over $500 anyway.
Right, but I know that in discussions we talked about, again, there are some people out there, like I said, I've done a lot of the stuff myself on some of my property flips, right? So I've got the ability to do it myself if I wanted to, and I've got the know-how. However, going back to that, I think that if they're going to do it, that they would probably want some kind of inspection that makes sure it's done quality-wise.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense. Want more information on this, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with Eric Boyenger so you can learn about this. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio every day at this same time. Appreciate you listening to us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We will talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.